Hello, I'm Scruff, and today I'm going to be answering some of the most popular questions regarding nicotine pouches and snus.
Oh, good morning, Mackie.
Hold on. For a task this big, I'm going to need some help. Introducing my friend, Corey.
Good morning, guys. I'm the question man.
I've got friends.
Question number one, Mackie.
Question one.
What exactly is snus?
Yep.
And nicotine pouches, and how does it differ from cigarettes?
So, snus essentially was made in Sweden. It's the tobacco variant of what we now know in the UK as nicotine pouches. So, snus basically has tobacco in it. It's technically illegal to sell in the UK, whereas nicotine pouches are legal to sell in the UK. They're also a safer variant, both of them are safer variants than the actual having a ciggy, I guess.
So, is snus tobacco? Hang on.
Is snus tobacco? Yes.
It's the slash. Is snus tobacco-free nicotine pouches legal in my country?
So, depending on the countries, there are a few countries that have already said no to nicotine pouches, which I know a lot of people are pretty much in the fight to say, look, you might be saying no to nicotine pouches, but you've still got people smoking like a chimney. Have a look online. That's something that I can't really answer. Chances are if it's tobacco free, they are pretty much available and absolutely fine to get wherever your country is, again, apart from a few select places. But if it's got tobacco in it, be a lot more careful, just because, again, especially in the UK, where we are, no.
Good stuff.
I've made these questions shit.
Sweet stuff.
I am sweet stuff.
How do you use snus or nicotine pouch?
Okay, so cool. This one's nice and easy. With a nicotine pouch, essentially how they work is you get your little pouch, you whack it under your top lip, usually either side. You can do bottom lip as well. You leave it in there for anywhere from half an hour to an hour, depending. A lot of companies will say, okay, leave it in for half an hour, or the flavour will last for half an hour, but the pouch lasts 45 minutes. I've found I can go an hour with one in, and half the time I forget about it anyways, so either way.
What about two? Can you put two in?
Nah, now we're talking about double deckies. What double deckies are essentially is it's a popular term, and double deckies have essentially come around from where people have gone, right, okay, I want to get a stronger nicotine boost. So there's some psychos out there that'll get a Cuba Black Line at like 44 milligrams a pouch, whack two in, and that's their normal day. Of course, anything nicotine related, do it safely, don't be an idiot. You whack a pouch in, it's going to last you about an hour. Flavour may vary from brand to brand. You get some really good brands, for example, like Maggie, Snus, Kerwa. I find flavour on those will last for about half an hour, 45 minutes. You get some other brands, which I'm not going to slag off, but the flavour might only last 10 or 15 minutes, but it's really impactful and really strong at the start. After that, it sort of fizzles off a little bit.
What about the full can? How long would that last you?
So, for example, someone might decide, right, okay, I've got this tin. This tin, I might have 2 or 3 out of this tin a day. So it's whatever 2 or 3 times 20 is. For me personally, I'll tend to get through a tin every week, a week and a half or so. But we do have people who come to us, our pouch line, work here now. They'll buy a tin, or they'll buy like a sleeve of tins, and then they'll buy a sleeve of tins the next week because they just hammer through a tin in a day. All down to preference. Again, just be careful with what you're doing. You don't want to have too much nicotine, but I'm not your dad. I don't know where he is. Probably at shop still.
So what are the health risks and side effects of using snus or nicotine pouches?
So in terms of health risks, of course, with anything that you're doing where it's addictive or it's nicotine based, there is some slight risk to it. The main risk using a nicotine pouch is if you've never used them, you're going to get addicted to nicotine. There are also the other risks of it can cause slight damage to your gums. Nothing permanent because your mouth heals so quickly. Usually if you feel that you're getting a bit sore on your upper lip, you can then dash it over to the other side, or you just take a break for a couple of days, it heals back up and you're back up and running where you are. That's the main risk, again, barring the obvious one of, like, it's nicotine, it's addictive.
So are they safer than smoking?
It's a hell of a lot safer than smoking. And the reason for that is nicotine pouches only contain like 2 or 3 ingredients, which is essentially a form of gum, which is basically what allows the nicotine to be sat in there. Your nicotine, regardless of how much content's in it, and then you've got like a little bag. And the bag is obviously more just for comfort than anything, so you're not just getting pure xythol gum on your lip or whatever. With a cigarette, you're having tar, you're having acetones, you're having all sorts of shite that you don't really want in your body. Even vaping, boom, has still got a slight benefit over smoking just because it doesn't contain half the rocket fuel and shit that everything else would do.
And as we found out, it contains sugar, glycerin, which calories.
Calories, yeah. That's why I've got tits. I've got bulbies now. Smoking's just bad.
In terms of strength, what is nicotine strength mg? What does it stand for? And why is it different in each pouch?
So, nicotine strength in mg. So there's two different ways of a nicotine pouch that you can look at it to determine what strength might suit you best. What's becoming more and more common now is something that Velo uses. I know Maggie have it on their tins as well. Killer and the new Pablo Golds, I know they also have the exact pouch strength on there. For me, pouch strength's a lot more important. Because say for example, if I've got a 16mg pouch strength and my tin says 20mg, I might be thinking I'm having a higher strength by looking at that and going, oh, this is 20mg. When in reality it's like 16.2, 16.3mg. But the reason they vary is because people want it higher, people want it lower. It's all down to preference. It's same as, right, okay, I've bought a packet of cigarettes and Dave's bought a packet of cigarettes. Oh, Corey's bought a packet. He's over there still. He's waving.
I'm still here.
He's not waving. I'm
still here.
I'm talking bollocks. So I buy a packet of cigs. Corey buys a packet of cigs. I might have 1 or 2 a day. My nicotine tolerance is a hell of a lot lower than what Corey's would be if he went through a pack a day.
So, what are the flavours and formats available? For example, like white pouches versus brown, or the mini ones, or the huge ones that we now see.
Yeah, we've got some of them. Look at the size of these fuckers. You could fall asleep on that. Again, it's all preference. When you can ask me what flavours are available, and if you go to pouchline.com, you'll find all of them. In terms of flavours, it's just a mass variety of flavours, and that's one of the things where vaping has done really well, but also nicotine pouches are now starting to really do well with. When nicotine pouches first came out, I know a lot of people went for the ice ones, but now you've got flavours even as mental as coffee, frappuccino, banana, cherry tonic wine, Jamaican cola, those sort of things. In terms of the pouch formats, again, it's all down to preference. You've just seen the Maxi Siberias, by far the biggest nicotine pouches I've ever seen. They probably will be bigger. It wouldn't surprise me if they were actual pillows.
Like, I use it as a mouth guard.
That's it, yeah. You'll be seeing Tom Aspinall with fucking nicotine pouch mouth guards soon, don't worry. Yeah, so in terms of slim formats, it's all down to preference. People might want to have a slimmer format that they've got up there. They might want a bigger one, they might want a longer one, they might want just a mini one, so it's even more discreet. That's down to them. Colour of the pouches, that can either be a branding thing, or in terms of certain flavours, the flavours that they use within the actual pouches can also change the colour variation of a pouch ever so slightly. It's not harmful, it's not going to cause any extra issues, it's just that the flavour profile they've used for that individual pouch change the colour of the pouch ever so slightly.
If you've got a lot of them,
yes,
how would you store them?
Try and keep them out of direct sunlight. Coming soon to Pouchline, actually. Haha. Plug. We're going to be having what they call refill tins by a brilliant company called Kelly White, and you can just store your pouches in there, and they've got a lot more protection from sunlight and things like that, because a lot of them are made out of plastic. Plastic's great for when you first buy them because you can recycle them and things like that, but it also does allow for a lot more sunlight, which means the pouch can get drier. Again, having a dry pouch isn't a harmful thing, it's just not the nicest for some people. Keep them in your drawer.
Yeah, a bit of preference because there is dry pouches, isn't there?
Yeah, you can get like Killer Cold Dry and things like that. People are more interested in the sort of dry things, but again,
you want to keep them moist?
I like them moist, man.
We all like a moist.
Moisty. 6,
So, does it stain your teeth?
What's the effect? 9 out of 10 dentists say they like a fingering bum. It's a difficult one. I've already got shit teeth, so I wouldn't know if it's going to affect my teeth or not. You are putting what is essentially flavourings and nicotine very close to your teeth. It sort of calls back to what I mentioned earlier, where nicotine pouches can cause like a slight harm to the upper lip, but it's nothing serious and it's nothing permanent. But if you're using nicotine pouches for a long time, and again, it's all down to excessivity. So if I'm only having 1 or 2 pouches a day, I'm very unlikely to have any issues with my teeth. I'm very unlikely to suffer any gum damage or anything like that. But compared to someone who's slamming super high strength, whether they're slamming like a full tin of Pablo or a full tin of Cuba a day, chances are you might enter some realm of, okay, this sucks. It might stain my teeth, it might do this, it might do that. Again, just be careful with it. Just don't go mental with it.
Yeah, you're responsible for your own oral life.
You're responsible. You're going to prison.
Look after your teeth, look after your gums.
Big John's going to come and bum you. YMCA.
So,
yes.
Can you use nicotine pouches while doing sports, eating, drinking, or let's say you're at work or...
Absolutely. One of the main key features and benefits of using a nicotine pouch over other forms of nicotine replacement therapy, mainly vaping, but One of the things that's so good about it is you can use them anywhere. Say, for example, someone's going on a plane or a long drive, you're not allowed to smoke or vape or anything like that within the vicinity of there. So especially an aeroplane, for example, no one's doing a sneaky... No one's doing a sneaky, whereas these you can pop them in, leave them in for an hour. Plus a lot of tins have got a like a disposal waste bit on the top that you can just pop that open, whack your empty pouch in there. Okay, cool, right, give it a few minutes, whack another one in. The only thing I would say is don't eat with them. Just because, I mean, drinking's fine. If you're going out with your mates or you're going out with your girlfriends, what is this then? If you're going out with them, then one of the benefits you've got is you can have a drink, you can leave your pouch in for an hour. Just don't forget about it, get drunk and swallow it, then you might poo. But eating, just, again, it's down to the user. I personally wouldn't eat with a nicotine pouch in just because the last thing I want to do is that thing to drop out of my lid, go in with my food and I'm chewing what's essentially a really nasty version of chewing gum that's just there to hold the nicotine. Don't eat with it. Just don't. I'm bald.
Yeah, so obviously the best thing about them is you can conceal them.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. The concealable, you can even get tins these days that are like that. 6, 7. You can get them that are that big, you can just hide them in your pocket. They're really concealable, they're really easy to keep out of the way. Means your mum's not going to tell you off. I will.
Yeah, you can use them for tests, like if you've got a test exam, a meeting.
Yeah, of course.
Airports.
It's still a nicotine-based product, so 18 plus. But if you're in uni students, we know you love smoking vape and yeah, use them in your tests, use them in your exams. It might help keep you relaxed. Again, just go for a smaller strength. Yeah, you have them anywhere. Have them at your nan's house. Have them at your dad's funeral.
Give your nan one.
Give your nan one. Give her a double decky. And if she's not dead yet, give her a triple decky.
Triple decky.
And then smack her over the head with your shovel.
Are they allowed in public places?
Yeah, they're allowed in public places. Just don't throw your waste on floor.
Yeah.
No one likes seeing cigarette butts on floor. No one likes seeing empty cigarette vape packets or all like that on floor. Just dispose of them. You've got a tin. You've got the thing that you can whack your empties in. Don't be a dickhead.
Yeah, won't be a dickhead.
I'll tell you now.
So a nice little environmental questionnaire. What's the environmental impact? What is the proper disposal? I know you've just elaborated really on chucking them in the bin.
Yep. Environmental impact, again, it's same as... Because people will do it. People will just whack a nicotine pouch out and just conk it on the floor, which is... Don't. Because then you might get nicotine pouches banned. We don't want that. Yeah, disposal. Put it into the top of the lid. Empty them out into a bin and you can recycle, you can. Keeps the environment cleaner, it keeps everything else looking a bit nicer as well. Because they're not the nicest things to pick up off the floor. They get dry very quickly. As soon as they're not in the tin or in your mouth, they get dry within a couple of hours and then they're just sat stuck. It's like chewing gum. Awful. No one wants to pick that up. Corey, would you get your nan to do it?
Man, I can't bend down that far.
Okay.
No. Stuck in arch motion.
She's T-Rex. Yeah, there's a risk of addiction. It's a nicotine product. Nicotine is incredibly addictive. Not harmful as such. It can cause harm, but it's not as harmful as like the other things you'd find in a cigarette. If you're wanting to try and cut down on your pouches, thankfully now in the UK, because in the UK when it first started, it was 150 milligrams and the occasional odd one. Now there's so many different brands out there that you can go to that have got multitudes of different strengths that you can sort of say, right, okay, I'm on a 20 milligram. I need to drop down to a different strength. I might be using more, but I need to drop down to a lower strength. Drop down to the lowest strength that you feel comfortable with, and then it's willpower from there. The same with any kind of stopping smoking, stopping vaping, stopping using your Nicorette, whatever it is. It all comes down to willpower. You're going to have to want to do it. And if you don't want to do it, you're probably going to keep doing it, or you're going to end up regressing back up strength or back onto cigarettes.
And there is some available with like next to no nicotine.
Yeah. You can even get caffeine ones. So say, for example, you don't want to use the nicotine ones anymore, but you still like having the satisfaction of a pouch, put a caffeine one up there.
Does nicotine pouches contribute to hair loss?
You cheeky fucker. If you enjoyed that video, you might like this one. Don't know, you might do. Or that one. Oh, and there's a link to Pouchline. Buy your pouches from them. Don't know eating it.